Hello, everybody, and welcome to the i3net interview series. I'm Bianca, the very proud CEO of i3net, and today I'm very excited to welcome Robyn Johnson to the interview series today. Robyn, I might get you to kick off first. Obviously, you're a great and valued and active member of the i3net network. I might get you just to kick off, first of all, to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you joined i3net back in the end of 2020, I think it was. Yeah, we might just start off with a bit of background before we kick off.
Oh, thanks for having me, Bianca. It's lovely to be here with you. Yes, I joined i3net those few years ago, wanting to expand my network here in Wollongong after spending quite a lot of time working in Sydney. My background is environmental science. Blend ESQ is a consultancy that provides services in environment, health and safety, and quality management. And I just realised that having kids and living here in Wollongong, that I wanted to stay and play. So I'm trying to expand my network here in Wollongong so that I can lend my services to our great local community and businesses.
Thank you, Robyn. I was very excited when you started because I think we both connected personally from our passion about being active, healthy people, and also about the strong commitment that you have to the clients that you serve in your business. We might just talk about the typical clients that use your services, just so people can get a bit of a sense about exactly what your Blend ESQ business does.
Yeah, sure. Our clients are really varied. They can be in the supply chains of government or large industry that requires them to have some kind of ISO certification for their health and safety, environment, or quality management. So we see a spread across industries like waste management, mining, chemical storage, fabrication, transport, infrastructure, even things like professional services, consulting, engineering. And yeah, we work with clients who basically need to manage those factors in their workplace and meet stakeholder requirements and communicate those requirements to their staff.
That's fantastic, and it's such a broad range of services that you offer in your business, and particularly everything that's happening at the moment. It's obviously an area that's really in demand as well. So thank you so much for your time this morning and being able to share, I guess, your journey with the members and also the elements of your business and how you can support your members. At the start of our conversation, you mentioned briefly about loving Wollongong and being a part of Wollongong. And what are those elements of Wollongong that you personally really love and really enjoy?
Well, for me, it's the ocean. I draw a lot of my energy from being in the water, and yeah, I regularly swim in the ocean pool. I'll just throw myself in the surf, and also the escarpment. We bushwalk and do overnight hikes, so I love being in the bush and enjoying that kind of cool, damp environment, the green space. So yeah, those two things for me are probably what keeps me grounded and happy, healthy human. What about you?
Yeah, good. It's a good question. We're kind of similar in the fact that I also love the escarpment. So I'm a runner by nature, and I do ultra marathons. So I spend a lot of my spare time running in the beautiful escarpment that we're so blessed to have. And there's so many amazing trails very close to where we live in Wollongong, in our backyard, but then also a little bit north, a little bit south as well. There's just so many amazing trails to explore. So I love that. I also love the ocean. I love diving, but I must say say when it's this cold, I don't go in. I'm a bit of a wuss with the water, so I'm very impressed that you go off into the ocean pools. Are you still swimming at the moment in this cold weather?
Yeah, I wetsuit this time of year. Or no, actually, it's starting to get into wetsuits now. Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely braver. They're definitely braver than me with the cold water. Yeah, I would have been in my wetsuit a long time ago. I think it's definitely chilly. Which is awesome. Robyn, one thing that I really wanted to cover today was the addition to the work that you're doing, or the enhancement to the work that you're doing at the moment in terms of your podcast that you have recently developed. Would you be willing just to share with us what's the podcast that you've just recently launched?
Yeah, sure. So I love the podcast. It's so much fun. I wish I could do it full time. It's called Wollongong, Let's Get Salty. And the name has come about from like being in the ocean, being salty, and connected to nature. And I think that's a really important precursor to caring about and taking action to improve the way we interact with the environment. I realised the last local election in November that we have a lot going on here that maybe the public are not aware of. And so the podcast is really aiming to showcase some of the exciting things that are happening in industry and business in Wollongong, and to, I guess, put those things out into the world as inspiration, not only to our local community to empower people to get on and be motivated to act, but also other regional centres around Australia and perhaps even the globe. And yeah, I think we've got potential to be leaders in this space. We've got a really unique local government area in terms of the port and the steelworks and mining and electricity infrastructure, our fabulous uni and tech centre. We have the Sustainable Building Research Facility and all the exciting things coming through iAccelerate and smart infrastructure, and then a council that is just super on board with its climate adaptation. We've got a lot of state governments here doing really cool things, and a community that just loves being here. We're here because we love the ocean and the escarpment and the parklands, and there's a lot of cool things happening in local food production and small, shortening supply chains. So through my 20 years of experience working in environmental management, I have a lot of connections with people in industry and experts across water and bushfire and other, nature-based solutions, bush regeneration, etc. So there's a lot of information to share. I think we have about 3 years worth of podcasts to do. But for me, I'm a lifelong learner. I love exploring. Getting new knowledge is something that I'm just really passionate about and drawn to. And so sharing that knowledge and the cool things that are happening, I'm really hoping it will inspire the Wollongong community to be leaders in this space.
Well, that's awesome. No, it's such a wonderful initiative, and we've got so many great people in the local region doing amazing things, and sometimes we're not that great at actually getting the word out. So I love that somebody with your experience and somebody that's coming from that industry knowledge and that passion for the environment in our local area is bringing those two together, which is something that doesn't normally happen. So it's a really interesting mix of worlds that you're bringing together. But it's what Wollongong is. Yeah. What are some of the things that you have learnt from speaking to people on your podcast, and who have you interviewed?
So far we have Brad Chilvey, he's a local Australian landscape photographer, and also corporate event photographer. So we often have his company at i3net and other industry group events. He is just this amazing explorer, adventurer, local historian. He's got sort of 7 years of generational history here with his family, so lots of local knowledge. And for me, his was the, that passion for the environment, and bringing us all this beautiful imagery to remind us just how amazing this place is. Andy Evans from the CEO of OceanX Energy joined me. He is just an amazing big thinker, and he's got these incredible ideas that he can bring to fruition. And he has, together with Peter Sagardlis and some others, kickstarted the offshore wind energy industry in Australia. So that's a super interesting conversation. And my operations manager, Catherine Wade, and I did a episode on the mission of the podcast and shared some of the things that have brought us to this point in our life where we've, landed here together to generate these stories, and also to share what we're doing in our individual lives to try and live more sustainably and lower our environmental footprint. So that's a great community-minded episode. And then more recently, Mark Swinnerton, CEO of Green Gravity Energy, joined me for a chat about their conversion of renewable energy into weights that they store at the surface of old mine shafts, and then distribute that energy using gravitational and kinetic energy when it's needed into the grid. So that is super exciting technology, and it's ready to go. It's economically viable, and there's hundreds of thousands of old mine shafts around Australia and even more across the world. So that's a super exciting technology on its way. And Ty Christopher has joined me in his consulting capacity with Ty Christopher and Associates. We talk about voltage conservation in the grid, and also the social importance of community batteries. Zara Shabazian will join me shortly from University of Wollongong. She's the industry research manager there, and we're going to talk about how you can connect with the uni in terms of getting funding and access to research if you have a product that you're wanting to develop into a commercial product, or just improve a part of your process. So I'm hoping to talk to the council across a range of things, and I have a bushfire expert lined up for later in the year when we get closer to bushfire season. And then I want to do a series on water, water security, and also flood management, mitigation, storm surge, those sorts of things. So, and then on a community side of things, there's some interesting things happening in food production and businesses that are doing really well in employment of refugees and youth. So the list is long. We've got a lot of really cool things coming on board, and so open to hearing about things that we don't know about that are happening locally. So reach out if this resonates with you and you think, oh my gosh, yes, this needs to be on your podcast.
I love that it's so varied, because it's one of those resources that people can then go back to and look for something in a particular topic, and it just really reflects how diverse Wollongong actually is. And so to have a podcast that actually brings all of these really important but very varied topics together is really exciting. And for example, for our i3net members who might be doing some really innovative work, or perhaps they've been doing something and it has an amazing history and it's going in a new direction. If they're interested in sharing those messages with you, how do they go about finding you?
So they could find us on LinkedIn, or they could find us through the Blend ESQ website. The details for that are through our company is listed on i3net, but also just, you can blendesq.com.au is the website. Yeah, so reach out.
No, that's fantastic. And Robyn, time has flown by. We're already at half an hour. So what I wanted to check with you was talking about, I suppose for those businesses that are listening to you talk today and they're interested to either access your services or possibly just have a conversation in your area of expertise with those particular businesses. I think I probably wanted to know from you, what is the type of work that you're wanting to do with businesses at the moment, and where can you see some really great opportunity if people act proactively and engage with you soon in their processes?
Yeah, so as I move through life, I'm really trying to engage with people who are on the same wavelength and wanting to do great things. So yeah, a Blend ESQ client is ready to go. They want to do something better with their environmental management system or programs. So we would really love to be working more in sustainability programs to identify what it is that a business will do as its next move. What are the impactful things to do in terms of electrification and consumption? So that is one area that we are gearing up with some online website resources as well, and creating a knowledge centre so people can go get the information themselves, work out what their maturity matrix might look like as they move through a sustainability program. I also work in the area of approvals, environmental impact assessment. So if there is some barriers there to getting approval, that's certainly something else we can help with in terms of the environmental side of that. So
amazing.
Yes, but yeah, I want to work with people who are excited about the energy transition and all the opportunities that the circular economy is bringing, and who just have a high energy level like me is where I, if that's you, let's go create some magic.
I think that's awesome, and I think that's something that I've really resonated with you, Robyn, is that when you joined i3net, you've got such passion, such expertise, and you're ready to just get in and kick goals. And so I think that's why you are such a valued and active member of i3net, because of that expertise and that passion that you have. Well, Robyn, thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful speaking with you. I know that you and I could actually speak forever, I think.
Yeah,
I know we've got to keep it at this short. But was there any questions that you think that I should have asked you, Robyn, that I haven't yet?
No, I think we've covered a lot today, and I just want to thank you for the opportunity to come on here and spend my morning with you.
Oh, fantastic. It's been amazing, Robyn. Well, what I'll do is I'll make sure that I pop your contact details in the bottom of the video where the text is, and I'll be able to find your website. We'll have the web link to the podcast, Wollongong Let's Get Salty. And of course, we'll be able to see Robyn at all the upcoming i3net events. So thank you again for your time this morning, Robyn.
Thanks, Bianca. Looking forward to it.